Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So like every day we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10. The Samam Bonam, Chapter 74, The Deliverance of Shishupal, Text 39. So we have 6 verses and today time is short because His Grace Haridas Prabhu's memorial function is there at 8:45, 9 o'clock in Mandapam Hall. So we will try to discuss briefly about several verses. So beginning from text 39. So we will recite text 39 and then other verses we will just read like that. Text 39. Bhagavan ninadam shrutva dosaham tatsabhasadah karnau pidhaya nirjagmuhu shapatnaschedipam rusha. Bhagavan ninadam shrutva dusaham tatsabhasadah karnau pidhaya nirjagmuhu shapatnaschedipam rusha. Bhagavan ninadam shrutva dusaham tatsabhasadah karnau pidhaya nirjagmuhu shapatnaschedipam rusha. Any devotees would like? Matajis. Word to word meanings. Bhagavat of the Supreme Lord. Ninadam, criticism. Shrutva, hearing. Dusaham, intolerable. Tat, that. Sabhasadaha, the members of the assembly. Karnau, their ears. Pidhaya, covering. Nirjagmuhu, went away. Shapatnaha, cursing. Chedipam, the king of Chedi. Shishupal, Rusha, angrily. Translation and the purport for the later verses by the humble servants, disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Upon hearing such intolerable blasphemy of the Lord, several members of the assembly covered their ears and walked out, angrily cursing the king of Chedi. So remaining verses we will do. Okay, one more verse we will read now. Remaining 4 we will read later in the class. Nindam Bhagavatah Shrinvams Tat Parasya Janasya Va Tato Napaiti Yah Sopi Yati Adha Sukritach Chutaha. Translation, text 40. Anyone who fails to immediately leave the place where he hears criticism of the Supreme Lord or his faithful devotee will certainly fall down, bereft of his pious credit. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Uttapadakkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurattishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Saptaganjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanand Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurav Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yatkripadamaham vande Shri Guru Dinadharanam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So first of all, I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas so that we can do this service to the Summum Bonum, 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, for the pleasure of Srimad Bhagavatam, for the pleasure of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and for my own purification. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. So we are very fortunate to be able to discuss on Srimad Bhagavatam every day. Recently in our Bhakti Vaibhav course, His Grace Sarvabhauma Prabhuji was mentioning from Skanda Purana Mahatmya that ISKCON, what Srila Prabhupada has given this daily service of attending Srimad Bhagavatam, this is actually the highest Nityam Bhagavat Sevya standard of serving Bhagavatam. Prabhuji was telling that those people who discuss Srimad Bhagavatam for 1 week for making some money, that is Rajasic study of serving Bhagavatam, passionate. Then he was telling those who ignoring, neglecting the mood and emphasis of previous acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, they speak Bhagavatam or they serve Bhagavatam, that is in ignorance. And those who serve Bhagavatam for 15 days or 1 month at a stretch every day, that is in goodness, serving Bhagavatam. But what we are doing in ISKCON every day morning, Nityam Bhagavat Sevya, that is actually Nirguna. That is actually highest and the purest and the best and the actual way of serving Srimad Bhagavatam, as Srila Prabhupada has given us. Also recently, in Bhakti Vaibhav, we are studying Canto 3. So there it comes that how Vidurji wanted to serve Srimad Bhagavatam and how much he had to go through in his life to gain this opportunity. Throughout life, what he has to go through, and finally that event when Duryodhana in front of everybody in the big assembly so offensively spoke against Vidurji, and Vidurji then left Kuru Sabha to get this opportunity of serving Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of Sri Maitreya Muni and first Sri Uddhavji. So getting an opportunity to serve Srimad Bhagavatam by hearing and discussing in the assembly of devotees, in the temple of Sri Radha-Rasbihari, in the office of Srila Prabhupada, in the morning hours, is the highest possible privilege which can be offered to anybody in this existence. And what we have done in young age, we have not done any hard work in our life, anything. And we are getting this highest privilege, all by the mercy of our grandfather, Srila Prabhupada, because he has gone through all the hard work. It's like, we see in traditional culture, grandfather has gone through all the hard work. Like when Vishnudutta Prabhu's family, the grandfather established that 140 years old shop, right? And now the grandchildren are reaping benefits, having so much money and opulence. SriSriRadhaRasbihariTemple, God Nitai, Sita Ram Lakshmana Hanuman ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So like that, our grandfather also has done all the hard work of writing, commenting Srimad Bhagavatam, giving the facility, the prasadam, everything. We just have to relish. Pibat Bhagavata Rasamalayam. So we just have to relish Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Srila Prabhupada ki. Yeah. So, this chapter, first 2 sections of the chapters are very nice. Because first Yudhishthira Maharaj is glorifying Krishna so beautifully. And after that Sahadev ji is glorifying Krishna so beautifully. So, delighted. And then somehow this Shishupal ji happens to, spoil the whole mood by speaking such offensive words to Krishna and such wrong words to Krishna. But great acharyas who actually love Krishna, they cannot tolerate even that also. Immediately they will bring their notebook and pen and they will write commentaries. They will all sit down together, or they will sit down on those verses, and they will write commentaries to prove that this is also glorification of Krishna, because they just out of love. Because of love, they cannot tolerate, any verse passing through them as a criticism of Krishna. They cannot let any verse pass through as a criticism of Krishna. So they will give all the word, each word, several meanings that this is glorification of Krishna. So in that way, this chapter is whole glorification of Krishna, and the entire Srimad Bhagavatam is for that purpose. So these 2 verses which we just read, very important for sadhaka's life, very, very important. Although this is 10th canto going on, but Srimad Bhagavatam, like mother, not only nourishes the child with good food, but also gives instruction that, my dear child, be protected, be cautious about these wrong things. Like in India, when the son is going to study in the engineering college in the hostel, so mother will tell the child, come, sit. When the last day, when the child is leaving tomorrow morning, early morning train, mother will sit with the child and, 1-2 hours, she's crying also, and then she's giving all the uh, biscuit and what else, all journey, cake and all that she's giving also. At the same time, she's giving instruction that be protected, be cautious of these things. Like that, Srimad Bhagavatam also protects us by giving, in between pastimes, these important instructions for a sadhaka. In these two verses, very important instruction what we are getting. What? For 39, the word is ninadam. So the word meaning says criticism, the translation says blasphemy. So we will also, following suit, we will also refer to each of both of them, synonymously only in our discussion, either criticism or blasphemy, although there are slight differences there. So, for a sadhaka, Srila Prabhupada said in Los Angeles once, when the first copy of Nectar of Devotion came, Srila Prabhupada holding that book, Prabhupada said, this is the law book of ISKCON. Every devotee in Krishna consciousness movement must read this. And recently, again in Bhakti Vaibhav, we had the fortune of His Grace Venu Gopal Prabhuji, one of the scholars, great Vaishnava. So he was telling, devotees should read this book in NOD at least 15-20 times. Srila Prabhupada has put everything in this book. And His Grace Rama Rupa Prabhuji also, formerly in his lectures, has several times emphasized devotees to read this book, Nectar of Devotion. Because from Nectar of Devotion, we can come to know that, okay, should I take this verse seriously? How seriously? How much seriously? How much not? So Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami mentions chapter 6, 64 limbs of bhakti, taking the most important and most prominent ones from Srila Sanatana Goswami's work, Hari Bhakti Vilas. So in the 64, the first 10 he tells the things which should be done. Adav Guru Padashraya, Diksha Adi Shikshanam, Ityadi. And the next 10 items are telling what should not be done. And in these 10 items, next 10 items, the last item is one should not tolerate blasphemy. Srila Rupa Goswami writes, Srila Prabhupada writes, one should be very intolerant toward the blasphemy of Supreme Lord Krishna or his devotees. Should be very intolerant. Very intolerant. Now we don't get purport here how to be intolerant. But Srila Prabhupada has mentioned this in the section of Sati Mata going to the Daksha Yajna against the will of Shivaji. And thereafter reaching when Sati Mata sees that there is no respect for Shivaji because Daksha, my father, is so envious of him and is doing fault finding with him, so much criticism of him in his mind or in his actions visible that there is no place, no oblations kept for Shivaji. So Shakti Devi is very angry. And the second last shloka, before she finally says, I will commit suicide, I will give up my body. Just before that, can you show that document on the screen, Prabhuji, if possible? So Sati Mata, Canto 4, Chapter 4, Text 17. She tells 3 ways. If we happen to hear blasphemy or criticism, what should be our reaction? Srila Prabhupada mentioned in Nectar of Devotion that one should be very intolerant. But how one should be intolerant? That Srila Prabhupada is telling here in 4.4.17. Oh, ये तो बहुत छोटा दिख रहा है ना? थोड़ा बड़ा करो. बस ये ट्रांसलेशन देखना है, वो ब्लैक बोल्ड वाला ब्लैक है ना, बाकी ऊपर कर दो. Anyway, this is still so small. I will read, or you can show that verse from the Veda base, Gita base. 4.4.17 you can show. So Sati Mata is saying, if one hears an irresponsible person blaspheme the master and controller of religion, Remember this word, irresponsible person, because later we will talk about it. What Mata is telling? If one hears an irresponsible person blaspheme the master and controller of religion, three things he should do. First, one should block his ears and go away if unable to punish him. That was mentioned in this verse also, right? Second, if one is unable to kill, then one should by force cut out the blasphemer's tongue and kill the offender. And after that, one should give up his own life. So at least we should do the first one. Block our ears and leave that place. In Kali Yuga, in modern situation, where Bhagavatam is not accepted as the law book of, civilization or government. So then to follow word to word may not be very, practically possible in each situation. But at least the first thing we can do. So then in this purport, Srila Prabhupada writes very nicely. Prabhupada writes, okay, no need to, okay, leave it. Yes, leave it. Srila Prabhupada writes, it is great sin is committed by hearing the blasphemy of Krishna or his devotees. And then Srila Prabhupada tells that different people should do different things. Now here, Sati Mata cannot kill her father because father. So she decides that I'll give up my body. And then Srila Prabhupada tells that if Brahmana, if a person is a Brahmana, then he should not kill himself because then he'll be responsible for Brahma Hatya. So what he should do, he should leave that place or block his ears so that he will not hear the blasphemy. A Kshatriya, if he has the power to punish, then he should cut out the tongue of the blasphemer and kill him. And if you are a Vaishya or a Shudra, then give up your body immediately. And Sati, considering herself in the category of Shudras, decided to quit her body. So some action should be taken. We cannot be silent without any action, keep hearing blasphemy. In the Vena section, Srila Prabhupada writes in one of the purports that if somebody remains silent, it is great fault on his part. Not that Prabhuji will feel bad or other person will feel bad, so let me hear. It is a great fault, Srila Prabhupada is telling. You cannot hear. You cannot remain silent. You have to do something. And we can see in Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita such examples. We have the example of Sri Balaramji in Canto 10, Chapter 68, the marriage of Samba. So when the Kurus, unfortunately, happen to, first of all, they glorify and respect Balaramji so much. And later they criticize Krishna or Yadavas. And then Balaramji becomes so unhappy hearing the criticism of Krishna that he is ready to kill all of them. He is ready to, cut out Hastinapur from the, map and throw it into Ganga. Balaramji is so angry. Right? We can see. Balaramji can do that, we cannot. Similarly, we can see in Vena section, when Vena criticizes Lord Krishna or other personalities like Shivaji, Brahmaji, etc. So Brahmana is also taking this final, action. What? Kill Vena. So this action was taken in the Vedic times. It is not just in the scriptures. It is a serious thing. Not to hear. Similarly, we also can see that incidents like where the personality or where the devotee left the place. Like we can see Vidurji, Canto 3 again. When Vidurji saw that Krishna is disrespected in this place. Krishna's words are not valued in this place of Kuru assembly, and I will not stay here. Vidurji quit that place. Similarly, we can see that when Gopal Chakravarti, he criticized very badly Haridas Thakur. So all the learned assembly at the house of Govardhan Majumdar and Hiranya Majumdar, so they immediately objected and got up, making a hue cry, big loud hue and cry, and got up. They objected to it. So we can see that if we happen to hear, we have to take some action. Now, if I am getting opportunity to hear such thing, then not only we should do these two actions, we can see from Adi Leela chapter 10, text 158 purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions about Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, that he never cared to hear blasphemy of a Vaishnava, even when there were points to be criticized. He used to say that since all the Vaishnavas were engaged in the service of the Lord, he did not mind their faults. This reminds me, just few days ago, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj gave an interview about the glories of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj in Delhi. So one of the things, the main thing which Maharaj is hitting and highlighting, in the first part of that in so many decades of GBC meetings, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj saw that sometimes the discussion will become very, hot. And there is one issue and two different opinions on that issue. And sometimes the opposite party is not even respectful while presenting their views. Not even respectful. Rather, they are, disrespectful. Even in that case, Maharaj was telling that His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he said, in 50 years, I never saw even one instance where Maharaj became criticizing the devotee or the devotees, there in the meeting or later. So His Holiness Keshav Bharati Swami Maharaj was telling once one devotee in Delhi that he was asking Maharaj how to do management is so difficult. He said, learn from His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Not only he chants attentively, but he deals very attentively. Not only he will hear, he will not hear also criticism. We have experience with Maharaj. And the moment you begin to criticize any devotee, immediately he will cut it. No, he is sincere devotee. He is sincere devotee. Nothing, no problem. There is no problem. This is all right. He is sincere devotee. Exactly following this mode of Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. Even when there was points to be criticized, he used to say that since all the Vaishnavas are engaged in serving Krishna, he did not mind their faults. So these are the instances, if I happen to hear blasphemy or criticism of anybody. Because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, by avoiding to listen to blasphemy or criticism, I am not displeasing the devotee, jo criticism one who is doing. I am not displeasing or disrespecting. Rather, I am benefiting him and myself both. Because avoiding to listen any criticism or blasphemy will save both of us from great Vaishnava Aparadha or great fault or great sin. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj once in one of his lectures on Jad Bharat, he was telling if somebody comes to meet you and he wants to tell some blasphemy or criticism, you tell, Maharaj did like this. Tell him that no, I cannot speak, I cannot hear. You do like this and go away. So, but somehow we have to avoid this, because if I hear somebody's criticism or blasphemy, my mind will become different towards him. I have experienced this in my life. If I have heard somebody's blasphemy or criticism, now later after few weeks or few months, if I hear something bad happened to him, we can clearly see in our heart that I am not feeling that much pain or that much worry or that much cause of concern, because I have long back ago, heard criticism or blasphemy about this devotee. So I failed. Or another time, I remember, two instances I can remember in my life. Two different devotees, wonderful devotees, glorious, serving Srila Prabhupada's mission very nicely. But somehow or other, I have perceived or heard some blasphemy or criticism. So both the devotees, when I met several different places, I could not be joyful to meet them. I met them, Hare Krishna. And this is an offense. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions one of the 6 offenses is not feeling joyful when you meet a Vaishnava. So when we hear criticism or blasphemy, it will affect us badly, like this I gave example. So we have to be very fanatic, not hearing any criticism or blasphemy about anybody, unless and until we are into that service only. And then for accepting that service, you have understood or discussed your qualification to be able to hear that much and yet not be affected in your affection for that Vaishnava, because he is devotee of Krishna. He is devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That affection, that flow of affection is not affected. Even when you can hear, that qualification you should have. And you responsibility to discern that before accepting that service. I should also never do criticism. This is second part important, which you should understand. Because when there is craving in our heart to criticize somebody, it is very deep feeling, very deep craving. And we cannot not criticize. I have to criticize. And there are several ways from one senior devotee I found. On several reasons, several bases on which I begin to criticize. In short, I will try to mention. First, there are 6. Let us see how. When one couldn't attack, so take revenge. This is the first. Like Dhruv Maharaj cannot attack back Mata Suruchi. Something like that, So, or some senior devotee criticizes us, or sorry, not criticizes, chastises us. Correct? So we cannot now chastise back the senior devotee, and especially if he's in some post position of management. Then I fear that if I chastise him, then tomorrow some of my privileges and some of my, rights will be in danger. So I cannot attack back him or criticize him back on the face. But then I go to some other friend and start criticizing that senior devotee. First. Second, when we consider somebody inferior than myself, like Daksha felt Shiva is inferior to me, and Daksha felt that he did not give me proper respect. So now I have to criticize. And Daksha is so confident. I am not speaking out of envy. Don't take me wrong. But this Shiva and this Parameshwari told me to marry my daughter to this Shiva, and then start criticizing. Third, when one feels insecurity, that this new devotee is doing this service much better than me, then he will be given this service opportunity in the coming future only, always. I will not be given this service opportunity. And then with this, I am not attached to service anyways. The real problem is with that service, the privileges, the perks, the facilities, the Jan Dhan Suvidhain, which comes with this service. If he does this service better, then he will get all the Jan Dhan Suvidhain, and I will not get these material advantages of this service, Jan Dhan Suvidhain, men, money, resources. Then, let me criticize him. And let me criticize him. Oh, he may be doing this service better. Oh, he may be distributing books. Just material skills. With time we see he will be out of the temple. Right? Somehow we have to. And a third reason, when I'm insecurity. Fourth, when one thinks that my way is the best way, the right way, the high way. Like Ravana telling about Vibhishanaji. Vibhishana is the only person who said this abducting Sita and wrong plans are wrong. Ravana said, you are a fool. What do you know? You are the biggest problem in my. You get out of this place. So when my way is not getting fulfilled, when there is objection to my way, And fifth is inability to see one's own deficiencies, like Hiranyakashipu. He just cannot see any fault in himself. And he, even if there is, in such mentality, even if there is any opportunity to, accept that there is this mistake, is prove it some or other that no, it's not my mistake. I am perfect, flawless. So then to be flawless also, then a person has to criticize other person and prove him down. Or if he has successfully proven my mistake, then criticize him to devalue him, that he is useless devotee, he is not good devotee, he is not in good standing anyways. So his criticism of me is also anyways baseless. Right? So fifth. And sixth, when my sense gratification is obstructed. Like in this very chapter in Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada mentions SriSriRadhaRasbihariTemple Nitai Sita Ram Lakshmana Hanuman ki. In this very chapter in Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada mentions that why Shishupala had so much problem. Because in the past, when his marriage was supposed to happen with Mother Rukmini, Krishna took Rukmini Mata away. And he wanted to marry Rukmini Mata. Who? Shishupal. Because of that, he was... because his sense gratification plan was obstructed by Krishna. And then he started criticizing Krishna, left, right, center, foolishly. So these are the 6 ways. So why we discuss this? So that next time when I get a deep craving to criticize, don't justify, no, I am right. He is, find out, are you in one of the 6 categories? And mostly, yes, we will be in 6 categories only. We are not very high devotees. At least about myself, I can say. So we should not do criticism. We should be, by default sure that if I am feeling some tendency to criticize, surely some of the 6 categories is happening with me. Being very enthusiastic and confident and getting into criticism, before that, let us go through the 6 categories and review and keep quiet. Protect the other person also from offense and myself also from offense. It's very important. So then, somebody may feel that, no, Srila Prabhupada also criticized. I am also criticizing like Srila Prabhupada only. Right? After all, I am calling a spade a spade. It's not wrong. Srila Prabhupada was so strong. Correct? I am a follower of Srila Prabhupada. So that also we should be understanding that when Srila Prabhupada criticized, he never criticized a person. He criticized the philosophy. Any devotee will ask, Prabhupada, they were telling about this person. Prabhupada said, tell about his philosophy. And then Srila Prabhupada will, left, right, center, defeat the philosophy if it is not in line with the highest philosophy of Srimad Bhagavatam, Parodharma. Right? Whether it is Mayavadis or scientists or Sahajiyas, so Srila Prabhupada will always defeat the philosophy and bring the truth out. This is very important characteristic of calling a spade a spade. Calling a spade, the major element of that speech is that your major focus or intention is to bring the truth out. But in criticism, the major thrust is in defaming this person, in belittling this person, condescending this person. This is the major element of criticism or blasphemy. Whereas calling a spade means you will be major focus on bringing the truth out. Like when Mr. Chowgule met Srila Prabhupada. And he said that, Swamiji, you are also doing good work, we are also doing good work. We are doing eye camp. You are also doing some good seva to Samaj. Prabhupada said, no, we are doing real good work. You are doing not real good work. You are just doing some social work. Then Prabhupada explained to him very nicely, what is Samaj seva and what is... Because today your eye camp, tomorrow hand camp, tomorrow brain camp, and one day body will still die only. But we are giving real camp to the Atma. Atma will go back to Krishna eternally blissful. So our good work is real good work. So Srila Prabhupada brought out the truth very clearly to that person. That is the thrust in calling a spade a spade. If I feel, no, Prabhuji, I am calling a spade, I'm not criticizing this devotee. Then tell yourself to glorify that devotee. Right at this moment now, when your mind is filled with criticism of this devotee, now glorify this devotee. Because you're not envious of this devotee. You're just envious of the issue or the problem. Correct? So now glorify this devotee. Very difficult. Very difficult. At max, he plays nice mridanga. I may at max glorify some external skills of the senses. But to glorify his bhakti feelings for Krishna, for Srila Prabhupada's mission, his humble nature, his service attitude, his study of Srila Prabhupada's books, his heart for serving Srila Prabhupada's mission, to glorify this is very difficult. To glorify external he plays nice mridanga, that is little still easy. So we have to be very deeply introspective of our heart when we enter into criticism. And avoid criticism. Not that we have to enter into criticism. I'm not giving lessons, we're entering into criticism. Totally avoid it. And these are the ways we can really doctor our heart and check our heart and then avoid. And Srila Prabhupada said in February 10, 1977, room conversation, Srila Prabhupada said, just like you avoid snake. Do you hate snake? Do you disrespect snake by that? No, you avoid snake because similarly you avoid a blasphemer or criticizer. Don't feel that, he will feel bad or offense will happen. No problem. Like that. So, now we will go to the other few verses. We covered this verse. Text 40 we already spoke. Text 41 we will speak. Tataha pandu sutaha kruddha matsya kaikaya srinjaya udayudha samuttasthu shishupala jigam savaha. Translation. Then the sons of Pandu became furious, and together with the warriors of Matsya, Kaikaya and Srinjaya clans, they rose up from their seats with weapons poised, ready to kill Shishupal. So this is the action which Kshatriyas, because they have the power, they can take such action. For us, better close the ears, run away from there. And if we cannot defeat that person right at that spot, in his criticism of the devotees or Krishna, later on at least we can go and discuss with the devotees to purify our heart and mind of their criticism which we have heard little bit. Defeat in our own heart at least that all wrong things he spoke. To purify. Very important. Tata shaidyastva asambhranto jagrihe khadga charmani bhartasyan krishna pakshiyan ragya sadasi bharata. Undaunted, Shishupal then took up his sword and shield in the midst of all the assembled kings, O Bharata, and hurled insults at those who sided with Lord Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada in Krishna book writes that he is such a silly person. All of the big kings have lifted weapons, swords to kill him. So many of them, big Marathis, and still he is foolishly thinking, I will defend and I will also fight. So he has gone crazy. And the next verse is very important. We will discuss 5 minutes on that, then we will stop. Tavaduthaya Bhagavan Swanne Nivarya Swayam Rusha Shirah Kshuranta Chakrena Jahar Patato Ripoh. Translation. At that point, the Supreme Lord stood up and checked his devotees. He then angrily sent forth his razor-sharp disc and severed the heads of his enemy as he was attacking. So now we will focus our camera on Krishna's glories, Krishna's majesty. Because we discussed a lot of criticism and let us relish Krishna. Very beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada's disciples. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains the Lord's action as follows. If Lord Krishna had done nothing, there probably would have been a savage fight on the sacrificial grounds, and thus the whole ceremony would have been drenched in blood, spoiling the sanctified atmosphere. Therefore, in order to protect the Rajasuya sacrifice of Krishna's beloved devotee Yudhishthir, the Lord immediately severed Shishupal's head with his razor-sharp disc in such a way that not a drop of blood fell within the sacrificial grounds. Right? Very beautiful. How Krishna is so amazing. So 2 things you can see here, Krishna's action. First, his heart And second, his skill. Right? Now, what element of the purport speaks about the heart of Krishna? Can anybody guess? हाँ पीछे ओके प्रभु जी नहीं होता या है ना Krishna is concerned about his beloved devotee Yudhishthir's sacrifice should not get spoiled. So how Krishna's heart is in love. Although such a big scene is happening, although Shishupal is criticizing Krishna so badly, if somebody is criticizing me in front of the whole assembly so badly, where my mind will be? Meditating on the criticism of Shishupal. Such a nasty person, such a bad person. He never attends morning program. Anyways, I know he is. I will be meditating on that. But see Krishna. He is meditating on Yudhishthira Maharaj and expressing his love for Yudhishthira Maharaj. This is Krishna's heart. And he is attentive to Krishna's sacrifice should not get spoiled. See Krishna's heart. Second, Krishna's skill. Where you can see the skill of Krishna? Good. Not even a single drop of blood fell in the sacrificial assembly arena. Is it possible? Can you kill somebody's head like that? Not even a single drop of blood fell. This is Krishna. Shukadeva Goswami says in the second last verse of Putana Kaliya Vadalila, Krishnena Adbhuta Karmana. Krishnena Adbhuta Karmana. And what is Krishna's Adbhuta Karma? Again, there also we can see skill and heart. Skill is what? Krishna is doing this, breathtaking dance. I recently was talking to devotees, we found out that 7 difficulties are there. Hurdles are there in this dance. Even one of them it is there for us, it is difficult. First hurdle is the stage on which Krishna has to dance, Kaliya's hoods, is slippery. Second, it is moving. Third, not one stage, hundreds of stages. Fourth, the stages are cold. And Krishna is barefoot, remember. Swapadena, Krishna went. Fifth, the stages are not just moving, they are trying to bite you to death. And sixth, you have to dance harmoniously. You have to dance harmoniously. And seventh, you have to smile, you have to relish, you have to cheerful. So Krishna is so skillful, unbelievable, unmatchable. Many years ago there used to come one serial on television, AXN Fear Factor. They will do many, silly things, crazy things. I remember once I had seen one person on the 50-story building, on the parapet wall, on the edge of that, he is having his chair only with the 2 legs of the chair resting on the parapet wall edge. 2 are in the air and he's sitting on that 50-story building. And he is somehow balancing, sitting. And they are showing, just see the fear factor. But this is all bogus, fail. This is the real. But unfortunately, they have proved Krishna does not exist, mythology and all that. That is why Srila Prabhupada used to be so unhappy with Mayavadis. So Krishna is really skillful. And heart of Krishna in Kaila Leela is also seen. How? That Krishna saved Vrajavasis from Kaliya's poison. Krishna saved Kaliya from Garuda. And Krishna saved the waters of Yamuna from Kaliya also. And on the request of Kaliya's wives, Krishna withdrew the offense of Kaliya towards Vrajavasis and also withdrew his offense towards Garuda because of the prayers of Krishna's beloved devotees, Nagapatnis. Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Nagakanyagan Bhakti Tejahara Pailo Govinda Chara. So these Nagapatnis, their devotion, just like Yudhishthira Maharaj's devotion, Krishna is not mindless about it. Similarly, in this situation of Kaliya Daman also, in all his anger and all his, Krishna will not miss the love, the devotion of Nagapatnis. That is Krishna's heart. We can see very much in this verse Krishna's heart and Krishna's skill. And to such a beautiful person, such an amazing person, such a beloved and such a loving person, Srila Prabhupada told that give your this one life to Krishna, you will never be at loss. He will never miss to observe and reciprocate with our insignificant devotion also. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki, Shri SriRadhaRasbihari ki. I will just read the translation of the last verse. Just 2 minutes are there to 3 minutes. Shabda kolahalothasi chishupale hate mahan tasyanuyayino bhupa dudruvur jivitaishinaha. Translation. When Shishupal was thus killed, a great roar and howl went up from the crowd. Taking advantage of their disturbance, the few kings who were supporters of Shishupal quickly left the assembly out of fear for their lives. Bhaglo. Purport. The above translation is taken from Srila Prabhupada's Krishna book. Ki Jai, Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead Ki. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Only 1 minute is there. No? Maybe if somebody has a question, otherwise we can tell the question, we'll answer separately. No question. That is nice.
Hare Krishna. Once His Holiness Jayapatak Maharaj and some other disciples, they went to meet one of the God brothers of Srila Prabhupada in Gaudiya Math in Navadvip. So he commented that, Srila Prabhupada, he is delivering hippies. He is delivering only hippies. Like that. So they came back and they thought he glorified Srila Prabhupada. They came back and told Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, your God brother is saying like that you only deliver hippies. Then Prabhupada said, you have all committed offense. He said, what happened? You heard the blasphemy of your spiritual master. He said, what Prabhupada? He is criticizing me that I can only deliver hippies, not educated people. He said, take out the list of all educated people, disciples, and then show him that, I like that. So, this is a very tricky, blasphemy thing. We have to be very careful. Also, Prabhupada writes in 10th chapter Bhagavad-gita that if somebody is a thief, right? You remember that Buddhir Jnanam Asammoha Kshama Satyam Dhamma Sama, that verse is there. In that purport, the long purport is there. In one of the sentences, Prabhupada writes, if a truthfulness, he says, if a person is stealing, and if he's a chore, calling him a chore is not blasphemy. What do you say about that?
You only can answer. You're so senior.
No, because you're discussing, na?
Yeah. So, in my humble understanding, please correct me. So, in these situations, yes, the mind may say that I am calling a chore, but secretly I may be allowing my mentality of criticizing to get exercised in this seemingly looking alright criticism. Srila Prabhupada writes in 3.34 Bhagavad-gita that even though regulations are given to you, that within this you should enjoy your sense gratification. But don't stick to those limits also. Avoid them also and raise ahead in Krishna consciousness. Similarly, unnecessarily I should even avoid calling a chore. If there is a need, like when Srila Prabhupada was coming back to India from Japan with Srila Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj tells in his remembrances in Manipadya, he tells that Srila Prabhupada actually coached him. When you go there and my god brothers will tell about me different things, then how will you? So at that time Srila Prabhupada guided him because it was necessary. Prabhupada wanted to protect the faith of Srila Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So in very such helpless situations, with least consciousness towards criticizing that person, only this kind of mentality or this kind of situations, with that only minimum words I may do it. Just like when Maitreya Muni has to mention Brahmaji running behind Vak. So very few words in one shloka, in half shloka only just mentions faithlessly kind of. This once I heard that Brahmaji ran behind Vak. That's it, finish. In half shloka, only because it's required to be mentioned, And that too with faithlessly, it kind of thing happened, I heard once. So this shows the right mentality. Sri Maitreya Muniji is teaching us that what should be our mentality in situations where as an authority or as a leader or as a guru, I have to do this service. Like that, Guruji. Please correct me, Guruji, if I am wrong. Thank you.
Actually, when Srila Prabhupada was criticizing, like he was criticizing heavily Vivekananda. So that Dr. Patel. So Prabhupada told, actually I am criticizing him for the benefit of my disciples, so that they won't go and get spoiled like that. So when Prabhupada was criticizing, he is completely free from envy. That is why when in the end he was begging forgiveness
Apologies.
from everybody. So there is no envy. So when we criticize somebody, we should check whether I am envious or I am free from envy, and then I am doing it for the benefit of that person. In ISKCON nowadays, if somebody does something wrong, they print it on the Facebook, publish everywhere, then they discuss in the Brahmachari ashram. Even the investigating committee also, they reveal everything. But it is very dangerous. Once Prabhupada, when Madhudvish Swami left sannyas ashram, Prabhupada told Krishna Krishna Maharaj, don't tell anybody, I'll bring him back. He was a GBC, Madhudvish Swami Maharaj, he was a GBC in Australia. So he told Krishna Krishna, don't tell anybody, don't reveal, I will bring him back. But Krishna Krishna Maharaj, he went to Australia and told everybody that Madhudvisha fell down, don't follow him anymore. When Prabhupada came to know, Krishna Krishna Maharaj, he was so angry with Krishna Krishna Maharaj. And he was very compassionate with Madhudvish Swami, even though he left sannyas. Then Prabhupada told Krishna Krishna Maharaj, why did you do that, you rascal? I told you, na. Now everybody came to know I cannot bring him back, he will feel ashamed to come back. Then after 1976 or 77, Krishna Krishna Maharaj wrote a letter to Prabhupada saying that, Prabhupada, I am leaving my sannyas because I am not able to follow four regular principles. Then Prabhupada commented to Harishori Prabhu, yes, if you displease the Acharya, you must fall down. So we should learn, we should not, even if somebody does something wrong, especially Vaishnavas, we should not do prachar, tell everybody and tell congregation, hey, we should keep it secret.
Yeah, community should be free of this mentality, and this culture in the community should not be like this.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very nice. You very nicely analyzed, nicely prepared. Thank you.
Thank you, Roji. All used to, many devotees also helped me. I took help from several devotees also, because time was short last night. Thank you very much to all the Vaishnavas. Please forgive me for any mistakes or offenses in this presentation. I just desire to please Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. His Grace Haridas Prabhu Ji Memorial Program ki jai.